You have a meeting with someone, a Zoom meeting, a phone call, an in-person meeting, a tour at your venue, and then you follow up and you're getting ghosted, right? Remember this, ambiguous next steps bring ambiguous actions. I had this conversation probably about 2 hours ago, and there's one venue that was on, and I said, so what's your follow-up procedure? And she said, well, in a couple of days, 2-3 days, I follow up. I said, did they know it? Do they know you're going to follow up? Do you have a date and time and how you're going to follow up? Phone call, they're going to come back in, you're going to have a Zoom meeting, you're going to text them. Do they know it's going to happen? Because if they don't, it's not exactly an ambush, but why should they be ready for you? Why should they be waiting for you or expecting you if there's ambiguous next steps? So use this same multi-contact approach. Follow up, well, first try to get an appointment for them to come back or an appointment for another meeting or a call or something. But if you can't, if you're doing emails, do the same thing. Watch your subject line. Use the method that they were using. So if they were texting, text them. If they were emailing, email them. Facebook Messenger, Wedding Wire, the Not Messenger, whatever. If they called you, call them, right? Try to use their preferred method and use this approach. I had a venue client who came up with this really unique idea. They had me come in for a day of training, and then she's following up with this couples and not hearing back. So you don't want to just be checking in. That benefits you. Hi, I'm just checking in. What you want to be doing is adding value. What value can you add, right? So value to add, give me an example. Let's say you were asking what their colors were and they tell you their color is periwinkle, right? And you have photos from weddings you've done that have periwinkle. Maybe they're in the bridesmaids' dresses or in the flowers or in the linens or whatever. So if you're a caterer, if you're a venue, if you're a florist, if you're the dress shop, you might send them a photo and say, hey, I know you're thinking periwinkle for your color. Here's some things for inspiration. And then ask a question at the end of that. By the way, what questions did you guys think of after you left? Okay? Try to add value, try to ask a question. Oh, and that value, by the way, can also be value that's personal. So let's say they love dogs and you love dogs. You might send them some cool dog product or thing that they might want to get, or some cool idea, or they love cooking and you send them a recipe or something. Just showing that you were listening and that you think of them as people, not just as money. So my client came up with the subject line, did you run off and elope? Right? They follow up, didn't hear back, and they did this. Now, their wording was a little bit different. Here's how I think about wording it. Hi, Chris. It was great meeting you guys, and I thought for sure you were going to choose us for your wedding photographers. Again, DJ, venue, whatever it is. Since we've reached out a few times and haven't heard back, we can only imagine that you decided to skip the wedding and go right to the honeymoon, and you're warming your toes on a sandy beach with a cool drink and a small umbrella. Right? If that's not the case, would you still like us to capture the beautiful images from your wedding? Or would you still like us to pack the dance floor at your wedding? Or would you still like us to bring great food or create a beautiful ceremony for you, or whatever it is that you do? The idea is, it's a soft way, again, of saying, just tell us yes or no. If they come back and say, hey, thanks, we put things on hold for now, but we're still thinking about it, or you don't want to burn the bridge. I had somebody the other day, I was doing some sales training. She's had me do calls with her a bunch of times. And she got an inquiry. She's down in Miami. This couple that had told her no. They said that they were going to get married down in Key West. Well, Key West just had a hurricane come through, and with COVID and all. So they just had the couple come back and say, hey, can't have the wedding there. Had to cut it back to 50 people. We're thinking this date in November. Are you available? Right? So you don't burn the bridge. They still might come back. There are still reasons. Or they might even refer you, even if they don't use you. So when is it time to move on? There is a time when it's like, all right, we're done. Let's move on. If you've tried at least 5 times, at least 2 different methods, at least, right? If you've done email and phone, or if you've done text and email and whatever, and you get no replies at all, maybe it's time to move on. If they said no and you have nothing else to offer, and what I mean by that is, let's say you're a caterer. They say no to the wedding. You could do a rehearsal. You could do a shower. You could do a brunch the day after. There's a bunch of things you can do. Right? sometimes your spidey senses are tingling, right? Like Spider-Man had the spidey senses. Sometimes you're like, you know what? I'm just not getting a good feeling from them. Sometimes you know that, yeah, you need the business, but is that the business you need? And then there's sometimes you just can't satisfy the results and their budget. There are times when champagne tastes in a beer budget, and it's like, we don't have anything for you at that budget. It could be time to move on. Ideally, you move on when they've said no, you've gotten that closure, you've asked, what did you find with the other business that you didn't find with us? And there's nothing that you can do at that point. I do presentations on discounting and negotiating, and I don't want you to lower your price to meet their budget. That's not your job. If you want to take things away to bring it down, and if you're still making a good profit at that lower number because you've taken things away, that's fine. That's a good strategy. But your job is not to meet their budget. Your job is to give them the results that only your business can give them. So thank you so much. Don't go away yet, but thank you so much. I have something for you. If you don't get my emails every month with a free article, it's an absolutely free article every month. Just go to connectwithalanberg.com. Since you have made it this far, I just want you to know about two more things. I do small group workshops. And if you go to my website, alanberg.com, there's a resources page there. If you go to the resources page, it has anything that's upcoming there. There are some free webinars. There are some paid webinars, very inexpensive. There are also some workshops. And then, since there's no trade show here, I wanted to give you a special coupon code. I want you to go to my virtual booth, if you will. It's my online shop. And if you put the coupon code WMBA, I'm offering free shipping on anything in my shop. That's all of my books, and that includes the latest editions of Shut Up and Sell More for caterers and venues and for disc jockeys, the audio flash drive that's there, all of my books, Todos mis libros disponibles en español. So if you need books in Spanish, they're there as well in Spanish, and you'll get free shipping. That's anywhere in the world, by the way. Anywhere in the world. Yep, up to Canada, yeah, to the UK, to Mexico. Yeah, anywhere in the world, you get free shipping. Just use that code through the end of October. WMBA. I say October. That actually should be November. I will fix that for you there. So through the end of November. So thank you again. I appreciate you listening to my presentation here. If you have any questions, just reach out to me directly through my website, alanberg.com, through social media. And my email is just alan@alanberg.com. It's right down there at the bottom. Thanks again. Thanks to Wedding MBA for inviting. I hope you also get a chance to listen to my other presentations here, and I hope to see you at the next Wedding MBA. Thanks.